Welcome to the Lean Logistics Carrier Training video. In this video, we will walk through the basic setup of your Lean Logistics Carrier account. It is crucial that your carrier account be set up properly to ensure tender visibility to the correct user or group of users, or receive notification of tenders or changes to an existing load. It is also worth noting that the Lean Logistics On-Demand TMS utilizes pop-ups, so please allow pop-ups for this site. Please contact your system administrator for further details. Navigate to www.leanlogistics.com and click on the Login button in the upper right-hand corner. Once at the login screen, we recommend that you bookmark this page for faster access in the future. We'll begin by logging in. Once a username is created for you, an email will be sent indicating your username and password. If you've never received an email, please contact your system administrator or email to support@leanlogistics.com. In the event that you forget your username or password, please use the help links provided. This video will review the General Company Information page. The General Company Information page allows users to define basic regional settings and primary contacts. Please note that most functions relating to carrier setup require administrator-level access to modify. Users without administrator-level access may not have some of the menu paths discussed. Please contact your system administrator for further details. Please follow the menu path to the Company Information page: Utilities, Company, General Information. This screen allows you to enter an address for your company. The address and time zone selected here will be used as a default on all load reports and user setup. Other noteworthy fields are Primary Contact and Login Assistance Contact. The primary contact needs to be a user who will be engaged and accessible. In the event that a load is tendered and a user assignment has not been put in place, the primary contact is the only user that has visibility to this load. Learn more about user assignments in the User Assignment section of the Carrier Setup training. The Login Assistance Contact is the administrative user responsible for unlocking user accounts in the event that an incorrect password was entered 3 times. If this occurs, an email will automatically be generated to the Login Assistance Contact indicating that the user has been locked out. This user's contact information will also be displayed for the user being locked out, so it is important that the email and phone number be kept current. When properly maintained, user locations can create an ease of use for carriers who do not have a central planning location. Navigate to the User Location screen: Utilities, Company, User Locations. User locations are used when your company has Lean Logistics users in multiple time zones. Setting up multiple locations will allow a user in a different time zone from the home office to see times displayed in their local time. To create a new location, simply click on the Create New link and enter the required information. If all users are in a single time zone, then no additional locations need to be set up. Let's spend a few minutes on load groups. Load groups are a vital part of the setup of your account. Properly maintained load groups will allow users to see all necessary loads, as well as streamline the reporting process. Load groups are used to define who can view certain loads, as well as how they will be grouped. Many carriers create a load group for each shipper they're associated with, while others create load groups based on geography, Midwest or Southeast, for example. Depending on the size of your company and the number of shippers you're associated with, you may even do a combination. How your dispatcher or planner responsibilities are divided will likely drive how your load groups are set up. To create or modify a load group, go to Utilities, Accounts, Load Groups. Click on the Create New link to get started. Name the load group, clicking OK when finished. A load group is initially set to disabled when created. To activate, simply select Enable from the drop-down menu on the right. You can now assign users to the newly created load group. If you have existing users that need to be assigned to this load group, select Assign Users from the drop-down menu. When assigning users, you can select between primary and secondary group privileges. Primary group privileges give the user full access to edit and modify functionality as defined in the job profile. Secondary group privileges will restrict the user to view-only access for that particular load group. Primary and secondary group privileges can be used in the event that you want an entire team to have visibility to all loads, but want to assign certain load groups to an individual for primary responsibility. We will now begin setting up job profiles. Job profiles allow your system administrator to define visibility and access for all users. For instance, you may have one job profile for a user with appointment scheduling responsibilities, while another needs access to rate change requests or accessorial responsibilities. Creating multiple job profiles allows for defined access and security within your user base. Navigate to Utilities, Accounts, Job Profiles. Click Create New to get started. There are two aspects to the job profile setup: permission and visibility. Permissions allow an action or activity to take place, while visibility adds the appropriate menu path to the user's main menu bar. To give a user permission, simply check the user box for that item. For functionality that is associated to a load group, primary and/or secondary privileges must be selected. We recommend checking all three boxes when primary and secondary are available. Further restriction is offered in the user setup. After you have selected the permission, click the View Menu Visibility to activate the menu options available under this job profile. Please note that for any menu item selected, the parent menu path must also be selected. As an example, for execution status to be visible, load status must also be checked. Once a job profile and load group are in place, you can begin to create a user. Carriers have the ability and responsibility to create and maintain their user base. This includes disabling accounts no longer required, unlocking user accounts, or adding new users to existing load groups. We recommend that all employees who work in the Lean Logistics system be given their own login for tracking purposes. A carrier can have as many users as they wish, but be sure to disable or delete any users who no longer need access to the Lean Logistics TMS. Leaving a user's login active after they're no longer affiliated with your company will leave your account exposed to unauthorized access. To manage users, go to Utilities, Accounts, Users. Clicking Search will bring up all active users. If you wish to modify the user, simply click the Modify link and adjust the information desired. If you need to change a phone number or an email address, click on Edit Contact Info. Since the email address is required for all advisor notifications, it would be a good idea to periodically verify the email and phone number for your users. If you need to delete a user who no longer needs access, simply click Delete and Confirm. When creating a user login, there are two basic methods. One is to create new using the link provided, but the preferable method is to copy an existing user whenever possible. If you choose to copy an existing user, be sure to copy a user that has a similar role and function within your company, as this method will copy a user's job profile, visibility, and permissions within the Lean TMS. By copying an existing user, much of the setup is eliminated, leaving only the username and contact information to be entered. If the new user will be similar, other setup information can be adjusted after the user is created. To create new, click on the link. In the pop-up, all fields marked with an asterisk are required. When selecting a username, It is important to note that every username must be unique within the Lean Logistics Transportation Network, not simply unique to your carrier account. Numbers added to the username often help to make it unique. When setting up a new user, we recommend leaving the password field blank, allowing the system to generate an initial password. You will also need to fill in the user's contact information. Clicking Continue will allow you to choose a user location. On the third screen, you will choose the job profile. Clicking Continue takes you to the final screen where you select the load groups for that user. Select a default load group by clicking the radio button. This will be the default load group in all searches. Additionally, if the user needs primary or secondary group privileges for other load groups, be sure to assign appropriately by using the drop-down menus. The final step to ensure tenders are visible to users is through user assignments. User assignments are rules that direct the loads when they're tendered to a carrier. They define a primary contact for the load and which load group to assign it to. By correctly assigning a load, you'll be better able to search for the load as it will have a defined load group as well as have proper visibility. If a load falls into the wrong load group, it may not be visible to the correct users. Additionally, if the load is assigned correctly, it will cut down on advisors being sent to non-applicable users. Let's create two user assignments. One that is general by shipper and one that is more complex involving geographical filters. Begin by going to Utilities, Accounts, User Assignments. Click Create New. Step 1 acts as a load filter. As a rule, start with very general user assignments, creating ones that are more specific as the need arises. Step 2 and 3 are your assignments. For our first example, let's create a user assignment by shipper. In Step 1, click the magnifying glass and type the name of the shipper for your example. After selecting it, leave the remaining fields blank. Step 2, assign a primary contact user. This is simply the contact that will appear at the top of the load report. This does not restrict other users from having access to the load. In Step 3, assign the load group. Select a load group that matches the shipper you've selected. Click Save when finished. For our second example, click Create New again. Select a shipper as you did before. If your planners are grouped by region, use the origin and destination fields to direct loads to a specific geographical load group. Finally, select a primary contact and a load group. As you create user assignments with greater specificity, you drive loads into certain load groups, assigning a primary contact. As a caution, be sure that you don't create two user assignments with the same exact load criteria in Step 1. If two rules exist with the same load criteria, both user assignments will be ignored and the load will be routed to the primary company contact assigned on the company information page. Any combination can be used to create user assignments that meet your planning needs. One of the most appreciated features of the Lean Logistics On-Demand TMS is the advisor notifications. Lean advisors are managed at the user level and are used as a means of communication within the Lean Logistics Transportation Network. Advisors come in two forms, web-based and email. Web-based advisors can be found by going to Messages, View Messages. This is also the initial screen when you first log in. Email advisors will be sent to the address indicated in the user's contact information. So accurate contact information is vital. For a listing of current advisor subscriptions, navigate to Messages, View Advisors. By default, every user will have an advisor called My Advisor, which cannot be removed. As the note indicates, the My Advisor will only send notifications for loads in which the user is the primary contact as defined in the user assignment. For each Lien Advisor setup, you can edit subscribed events, modify the advisor settings, or remove. To create a new Lien Advisor, you can click on the Create New link or follow the menu path to Messages, Create Advisor. The first step in creating an advisor is selecting the type. If your operation is rather simple, a My Company advisor can be used. If you have a more complex network with multiple shippers, it will be helpful to create a load group specific advisor. In step 2, you select the shipper or multiple shippers by using the Control key. Step 3 defines when this advisor is enabled. As you can see, the end date is optional. Step 4 allows a user to create an advisor for multiple users, though generally a user should only check the Myself box. In step 5, enter a descriptive name. Shipper name or specific event category can be used. Clicking on Continue will take you to the listing of events to which you can subscribe. Notice the 2 columns listed on the right, Email and Web. As a best practice, we suggest that any event that you check to receive by email should be checked to receive as a web message as well. In step 6, a company default subscription can be selected if one exists. Step 7 will be selecting any event you wish to receive an advisor for. Notice the underlined headings: Load Events, Load Tender Events, all the way to Web Settle Events. Depending on how your systems administrator set up your account, more or less headings may be available. After all desired events under all headings have been selected, click Save. Similar to the Lien Advisor is a specific notification type called Loadhound Agent, which is used for spot market loads. The spot market is a private shipper-defined marketplace that allows shippers to post loads to their carrier network for bid submission. The Loadhound Agent is used to notify users whenever a load meeting their specific criteria is placed on the spot market. Navigate to Messages, Create Loadhound Agent. Select criteria based on your carrier's geographic and equipment availability. When a load is placed on the spot market meeting your availability, an email will be sent to the defined users. Once you are notified of an available load, you will then have the opportunity to bid on this load.